It's Julia here, and today I thought I was going to share my pocket page insert, and this is from the Stamp Spot. This is from January to February 24th, I think. It almost went all the way through February, but not quite. I had to start another one. So in this album, or this insert, I decided to work with like a kit. So I pulled together quite a few stuff, mostly from this Turn the Page collection, which I think is kind of perfect for the new year. All this starting over and beginning sentiments. And then I have some Pinkfresh Studio stuff, and not all of the pages, but most of these pages are using that kit. And then I have some pages that are just random scraps from my desk. But on the whole, most of them are with the kit, and I feel like you can really feel that flipping through the album. It has a very like a cohesive look to it, and it was really great fun, and it was really easy to work with this because I knew I would just, if I'm going to do a document in my insert, I just pull out the kit and start working. So yeah, well, here I just took one of the papers and wrapped it around, and then made like a little pocket here in the back, so I can tuck stuff in there. Okay, and then here I just have some leftover paper that I had embroidered, so I just put it here. First page, some watercolor over some rub-ons, and like I said, you can see the papers mostly from Turn the Page, and then some, I think this foil paper is from My Mind's Eye. We Are Memo Keeper. My Mind's Eye, yeah. I'll get confused. Okay, a big photo, and then some watercoloring, and then the Turn the Page. And I got these cards. They come white with gold foil, and it has like sentiments like of a bad day, really, and they're from Studio Calico, and they're from the Black Friday sale. I got them. Another page. This is about my little brother, and this is why I really love these traveler's notebook or pocket page notebooks or whatever kind you're using. Just document those little things that I wouldn't have documented otherwise. So this is a photo of my brother. It's in the supermarket, and you can see there are a bunch of nuts here, and my little brother, he loves nuts, cashews, peanuts, pistachios, almonds, anything you can imagine nutty, he loves them. So I picked him up from school one day, and we went there to pick up some milk and something, and he wanted nuts. And yeah, I just took this photo, and I really love having this in here. How much he loves nuts. It's such a random story. The next story is actually about him too. And this, he decided after the new year he wanted to build like a piece of furniture for his room, and he's really good at building. I mean, he's kind of young and he still needs a lot of practice and stuff, but I mean, he does it, and I'm really proud of him. And when I'm recording this video, it is at the beginning of March, and it's not done yet, but he's been working on it like every weekend and after school, and I'm just so proud of him. So I really wanted to document this in here, and I will do that when it's finished and in his room. I will definitely document that too. I might even do a proper page about it. Here we have January 9th, and it's a picture of the sun. I brought my brother out for a walk, and like in January, well, actually November, December and January, like there's no sun here, so when we actually see the sun, it's a big deal. So yeah, just document that sun. Here is a lot of color. So in January I started to try out making these Coptic bound books, and I couldn't stop. It was so much fun, so I just wrote about that, and it's just one of those really tiny things, I mean, that I don't think I would have mentioned otherwise, but in this book it's sort of like, it's a big deal because it was really a big deal. It still is. I really love making them. So yeah, here is a page where I had, sometimes when I just want to journal, I just wrote it on like a post-it notes or on a piece of Project Life card or something. I just put it here, and then some pretty paper, because most of these is about having trouble sleeping, so this sort of fitted kind of well. Here's a page where I didn't use the kit, and it is I've ordered watercolors from this girl on Etsy, and her name is Rachel Beth, and I'm really in love with these paints. I just wanted to document that. And here I took a stamp set and stamped and then fill it in with the watercolors. So yeah, I really like that, and having that in the book. And I have to say, the papers here in this journal, or this pocket page notebook, is amazing. I mean, I don't know how like how heavy you can go in the mixed media, but it's really, really good. And watercolor, no problem. Here's another one of those sort of bad day cards. I don't know what they call it. So what I did here, just adding some watercolor, and it says going back to your bed, a little caption, and then I made a little shaker pocket here, and then just a photo of the snow. Here is the day I turned 24, and on this page I took this paper, and I was not in my kit, it doesn't really matter, but I spent some time and added some stitching, and I really like the dimension of that. And I just wrote 24, and then here is one of the cards I got from my grandmother, so I just put that in here. And on the other side I just wrote what I did that day, which was me and Viola went out for a walk with my grandmother, and then we came back and sat in front of the fire and read. So yeah, wild celebrations. Here's another page about the bookbinding, and yeah, I really liked it, obviously. So, but this is more about because I made my own watercolor journal. It was kind of a big deal. I had planned it quite a long time, and it was really fun. When you do stuff like that, you have a project that you plan and you really think it through, and then you can finally sit down, everything is here, and you can just start making it. And when it comes together and actually looks like the way you had wanted it to, it's really fun. So I really want to document that. And yeah, like I said, so it's about a month ago I made it, and I love my watercolor journal, so yeah, that makes me even happier. Here I just needed to journal, I think. So what I did is I took a color from the sticker book from Paige Evans, this one, and I took this sort of purpley blue color, and I just used those, and then some vellum here to separate. And then I made another journaling page, but instead of writing on the other way, I used the clouds and then the raindrops, the enamel dots, and wrote from that. So yeah, and I think generally in my notebooks there's always at least one page like this where I just have journaling. So here was a bit of a hard time. This was the last day of January, and then somewhere along there, our dogs went missing. They had somehow got out of the garden, and they were gone for almost 2 days. So when we finally got them home, I was beyond happy. So here I made like a flyer that we'll be going to put up with all the information. So I have a photo of Viola and Dagmar, and then the text is, so you can pull it out. But when I was sitting and printing this, and then they called and said they had seen them, and they so yeah, we went to find them in the woods. So that was, yeah, but it was really, really awful days, but it's really nice telling the story, and they came home and they were fine, and yeah, gosh, that was awful. And speaking of awful, here's nothing that is awful. Here's just the weekend, and we decided to make a semlor, which is a Swedish stuff you eat. You have a bun, and then you add what do you call it? almond paste. Doesn't sound right. You need almonds and then whipped cream, and then you have a lid. So I just took the photo of as we made them, and then just wrote a bit about it, and then have a silly photo of my dad. So yeah, it was fun. And then here was the weekend after we got them home, and Viola, she was so dirty, and so like her fur had like tangled up so badly that I was like, we need to do some serious overhauling here. So it took 2 days to get her all looking nice again, but she looked very nice, so I wanted to document that. And here I decided to write on this tag, and then just tucked it in here. And then I also have some others of those cut apart. I got stuck. So like the little things, believe in you, and just for fun, like putting these in here. And this is from the main squeeze, I think, and just put an epoxy over that little dog. And here just a fun page about walking in the snow. We have had a really lovely winter with a lot of snow here, very pretty, so I just wanted to put that here. And then really fun, my mom, dad and my little brother, they went to up in the mountains to go skiing, and I decided to repaint part of my room. So what I did was, for this page, is when I was painting the room, I just put up the book, and I just took the paintbrush and made, just painted one stroke. So that is the paint that I used. And then I came back when it was done. So here I just have like the progression of how it looked before, and then painting it. And then here I made a little flip so I could add some journaling. And yeah, so quite a simple page. I knew I wanted to have this blue paper as the background. But yeah, I think it's really fun. And this is from the new Twilight collection, the wood veneer. And I was unpacking everything, but I was unpacking it. I was like, I really want to use it, so I decided to use it on this spread, and I really like that. And then just a puffy frame here. Next page is Valentine's Day, and here I just had some journaling, and I made a little shaker pocket here, and then just put the ephemera here, and then I just stapled that on. I just hand cut these from the paper and then a heart, and then added some journaling here. So I didn't really do anything special on Valentine's. I was in the hospital with my grandmother, and I just journaled about that. And yeah, I mean, I suppose I could put a photo in of her, but I was like, I think it's better just to journal about it. And at the same time, here's my brother again. Everybody was sick, like they had the influenza, and it was awful. So here's my brother when they came home. They came home early from the mountain. They couldn't go skiing anymore because everybody was so sick. So yeah, I have photos of my brother, but my dad and my mom was also sick. But yeah, so I just took a photo. He was just laying down on my bed while we were talking, and all of a sudden he was sleeping. I was like, oh boy, I'm interesting, you know. Anyway, so I just took a white gel pen and wrote here. And here is a photo of him getting a bit better. So he's in the couch with the dog. And here's just a photo. So this was, oh, I don't think I actually added a date here. But this is like a week later. And we were in town, my brother and my sister and I, and we just had some pizza and some shopping, and yeah. And then the last page, I just have this. Okay, I need to show you this because it's so pretty. So we went to Tiger, and that's a Danish store, and they had this, and it was so pretty. And it's just full of post-it notes, sort of. And I was like, this is so I was like, Chanel box of crayons, a pink paisley. I mean, yeah, I really love this, so I had to buy that. So I just journal about that in February, like the weather, what we have done or what had happened, and it's mostly that mom and dad went on holiday, come home early. what I have been liking to eat and drink and listening to, and yeah. And then here I just have a little card and with some more journaling, and yeah. So that is my pocket page notebook for January and February. So yeah, I love working in these journals. I think they are amazing. So if you haven't checked it out, go to the Stamp Spot. And I live in Sweden, and I think she ships from Australia, and the shipping is very reasonable, and it takes, I would say, 1 to 2 weeks to get it. So that should not stop you. It is amazing, and you need to check it out because they're amazing. So yeah, thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you soon.